Welcome to the Royal Calcutta Turf Club Calcutta Races Monsoon Meeting 2022 4-day Wednesday 14 September 2022 race preview. The first race of the afternoon is the Hokkaido Handicap for horses rated 1 to 26 to be run over a distance of 1100 meters. The first runner we're looking at is number 2 Reagan. Reagan had a run in race number 1 where it ran a forward race as the race came to the boil into the last 200 meters. Reagan, as you can see towards the middle of the picture, battled on but eventually finished on 4th to Windchaser, who came up on the wide outside, took charge and won that race. Couple of runners we are looking at. Number 3 Song of the South in race number 2, which was over 1100 meters. Song of the South was travelling in second last spot as they entered the home straight weekend and eventually finished on 8th of 8 runners. We also had number 7 Tahoe. Tahoe was racing in 6th spot, made up a place and eventually finished on 5th. The winner here was the Mentalist. We look at couple of runners again. Number 4 is Swift Lady in race number 7 where it went over 1200 meters. Swift Lady was tracking the early leader, which was Light in the Sky, and the other runners is Light in the Sky, who made the running and kept on finding more. There was a late surge by Moon Art, but Light in the Sky just held on by a neck. Today again ridden by Rupal Singh. Number 5 is Wandering Angel. Wandering Angel has already had 2 starts in the monsoon season. First up in race number 2, it finished on 6th of 8 runners behind the Mentalist. Next start in race number 8, where it was racing in 4th spot as they entered the home straight, as you can see in the black and white jacket in the center of your screen. It eventually finished on 5th of 6 runners. The winner here was Sicily. We move on to the second race of the afternoon, the Tangiers Handicap for horses rated 21 to 46, rated 1 to 26 eligible to be run over a distance of 1100 meters. Couple of runners we're looking at. Number 1 Devyuska in race number 6 where it went over 1100 meters. Devyuska was travelling in 5th spot as they entered the home straight, then eventually finished on 7th of 10 runners. We also had number 3 Tiago. Tiago was tracking the early pace, then into the last 250 meters or so took charge and staved off the late challenge of Ember Glow and won that race by 3/4 of a length. We got 4 runners which went up against each other in race number 10. First up we got number 2 Regency Gold. Regency Gold was a slight favourite, went on a start to finish mission but then eventually got caught up close home. We also had number 6 Ashwamegh. Ashwamegh took the turn in 6th spot, weakened slightly and eventually finished on 7th. Number 7 Indian Star. Indian Star was racing in 8th spot, eventually came out and finished on 5th. And number 8 is Jinsuku. Jinsuku was tracking the early pace, took the turn in 3rd spot, weakened slightly and eventually finished on 4th. The winner here was Properly Posh, who won that race by almost 2 lengths. The Mentalist ran in race number 2. The first run it had on the Calcutta Monsoon track, which went on a start to finish mission into the last 200 meters, kicked away and eventually won that race by a widening margin of 4 lengths. Today Rupal Singh takes the mount, who takes a kilo off. Let's see how Mentalist does today. Number 5 is Sun God. Sun God in race number 3 over 1200 meters. Sun God was travelling in 7th spot, tried to make a challenge but eventually weakened and finished on second last of 10 runners. The winner here was Queenstown, who won that race in a very impressive fashion. Sun God finished in the ruck. Perhaps would be better off for that run, ridden by Prithvi Singh today, who claims 4 kilo allowance. We move on to the fourth race of the afternoon, the Pentagon Handicap for horses rated 21 to 46 to be run over a distance of 1400 meters. First up, we look at two runners. Number 1 is Cormorant and we got on number 3 is Mandolin. In race number 3 over 1200 meters, Cormorant took the turn in 5th spot, stayed on in 5th. And we had number 3 Mandolin, who was racing in 3rd spot, weakened very rapidly and eventually finished on 7th of 10 runners. The winner here was Queenstown, won that race by almost 5 lengths. Number 2 is Properly Posh. Properly Posh had a lung opener in race number 3 where it eventually finished on 6th of 10 runners behind Queenstown. In his last start, Properly Posh was ridden in check, was racing in 5th spot as they entered the home straight, then challenged Regency Gold as they entered the last 200 meters. They fought on for a while, but then eventually Properly Posh grew stronger and won that race by almost 2 lengths. Number 4 is Livicella. Livicella, after coming down from southern India, where it won its last start over 1600 meters in its first start in race number 6, Livicella was racing in the wrong end of the field, made some lead gains on the wide outside and eventually finished on 6th of 10 runners. The winner here was Tiago. Number 5 is Script, who has had a couple of starts. First up in race number 2 where it finished on 2nd to the Mentalist, and in its last start Script was racing a forward race as they entered the home straight, was in 2nd position but eventually weakened very rapidly and eventually finished on 6th of 7 runners. The winner here was Rowdy, who won that race in a very impressive fashion. We move on to the 5th race of the afternoon, the SkyExchange.com Cup, a Class 1 affair to be run over 1400 meters. We got 8 runners going to post for this one, out of which 5 of them ran together in race number 11, where the winner was Agnostic. First up, we got number 4, Consigliere, who ran in second last spot as they took the turn, but then made some late gains and eventually finished on 5th. We had number 7, Hidden Gold. Hidden Gold was travelling in 5th spot, again weakened and finished on 6th of 7 runners. We had From Girl, who was leading the pack but then gave up as they entered the last 200 meters or so and finished on 7th. We also had number 1, which is Soaring High. Soaring High took charge for a while and was flattering, but eventually was caught up by Agnostic and Sea of Cortez close home and finished on 3rd. Number 6 is Sea of Cortez, who took a while to warm up and then came up with a late bit and got into 2nd spot. We move on to the 6th and last race of the afternoon, the Guman Handicap for horses rated in Class 3 over 1600 meters. First up, we got Exotic. Exotic in race number 5 over 1100 meters was travelling in 3rd spot, then when asked for an effort was a little flat-footed and eventually finished on 5th of 8 runners. The winner here was Baed, who went on a start to finish mission and won that race by almost 5 lengths. Couple of runners we're looking at. Number 2 is Vanguard in race number 4. Vanguard, who summered in Bangalore and won a race over there over 1600 meters. In his first start back in Calcutta, Vanguard was seen warming up far too late, was taking the turn in 6th spot, eventually came out and finished on 3rd. The other runner was Magnite. Magnite was chasing the runaway leader, which was D-Knight Mysore, and Magnite could only finish on 2nd, almost 2 lengths from the winner. Couple of runners again. Number 5 is Shivalik Gold and number 7 is ASOS. In race number 12 over 1100 meters, Shivalik Gold was racing in 6th spot when asked for an effort, didn't have much to offer, weakened and finished on 7th of 8 runners. Number 7 is ASOS. ASOS finished on in a clustered finish and eventually finished on 3rd after taking the turn in 4th spot, was beaten by Indian Tiger. The last runner we are looking at is number 6, Immeasurable. Has had couple of starts. First up in race number 4, where it went over 1200 meters and finished on 5th of 7 runners behind D Nightmare. So in his next start, Immeasurable came out on the wide outside and challenged Rowdy for a while, but then Rowdy ran away and Immeasurable had to settle for second spot. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen.